welcome to Grimwood Games, where we make games, we talk to developers, and we do live plays. Tonight, we're going to be doing a devlog. I am working on a new game called Monsters of Midnight. It is a game that is card based, yet dice based. It's interesting. We'll get into it. I'll explain it all. If you weren't with me for the stream the other day, I'll quickly go over it and everything. But so let's get into it because I need to come up with some ability classes, and ability things. So let's take a look at it. All right, so we are here. So what the basic premise is that Monsters of Midnight is a D10 system plus skill roll for most of your rolls. That being said, it originally started that your card value was going to add to the roll. That has now changed. Because base cards now do special abilities, which we worked with last time. Some of these abilities are such as Mage. When you use a heart and a club together, then you would get a mana shield, and this gives you an AC bonus of 1 plus the card value divided by 2. So that would be, if you have a 10, it would be 5, 6 AC bonus. So, and like I said before, this is still very new, very rough. Hasn't even been tested. Most of this will probably get thrown out, wiped out, changed, modified, renewed, all kinds of things. One thing that I did do is I have been sketching out a character sheet. So, which gave me a few little bits of information here. So you're gonna have like a might, agility, wit, and social skill. We're actually going to have skills, so I'm actually going to modify this a little bit, because I started to think that we weren't going to have skills, and then I decided like midway through today that we were going to have skills. So we're going to have skills. So we'll put skills right here. The skills are going to be pretty simple. um Might's going to have crafting, axes, brawling, hammers, spears, swords. Agility is going to be acrobatics, evade, hunting and fishing, riding, sleight of hand, sneaking, swimming, bows, crossbows, daggers, slings, staffs. Wits are going to have your awareness, your healing, your lore, your languages, a scout craft, a seamanship, a spotting, a spell crafting will be underneath that. Your social will have your bartering, your bluffing, your performance, your persuasion, those type of roles. So it's going to be very similar to those type of roles. Those are going to be your skills. Um, that being said, this is what we came up with last time. I'm pretty happy with it. Uh, every time that you roll for combat, you draw 5 cards. Those 5 cards, you choose one. One of those cards is your initiative. You lay it down. That is your initiative for the combat. That being said, you're going to have 4 cards in your hand to do something with. When you go to do those things, you can do stuff like life drain from a mage. If you spend a heart and a spade, you get 1 plus the card value divided by 2 healing to yourself. Uh, where the shaman has a heal, which is a heart and a diamond, you get 3 plus the card value divided by 2, and you can heal either yourself or an ally. So it's going to be so like the rogue tends to steal a lot of cards, so you can draw cards, you can discard cards. Um, but here's what I need to come up with now. The face cards are going to have a different option. So initially, with the first level, and this is what I need to get done first so I can get something done. Uh your hearts your heart face cards, your club face cards, your diamond face cards, and your spade face cards. They're all going to do something together. So that's the initial thing is at the start at first level you get to do you all of your face cards do the same thing. As you level, you're going to be able to swap those face cards out and change them out to be different things. I'm worried about level 1 right now. I just want to test the mechanics. So to get that done, I have to get level 1 done so that I can test the mechanics. So, uh, that's what I'm working on today. I am working on face cards. The only one that's going to be different is an ace. So you'll have your regular face cards, an ace, and then you'll have a joker ability. The joker ability will be unique to every class. Same with all of this will be unique per class. Um so that's what I'm working on today. But this isn't YouTube? Are you on Twitch? I'm doing both. Oh, you're on Twitch. Same thing. I'm on both. You can do both. Yeah. So I'm on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. I was joking around with your title. Oh, yeah. What did I name this? Oh, YouTube now. I don't know what I was thinking. How are you doing today, Baba? All right. So the first thing I need to do is so the symbols do represent stuff. Like the heart is a recovery attribute. The clubs are combat enhancers. Diamonds are a defensive attribute, and spades are usually a damage attribute. So that's kind of what I'm sticking with. Um, Monsters of Midnight is my own creation. Literally, it came to me maybe a week ago. We started working on it. Um, it's basically it's going to be a Monster Hunter type scenario where monsters come out at night and then you have to fight them as a group. So real quick, I've worked on a little lore today because I had today off. And the basics of it is that there's going to be a veil, and this veil gets thinner as night approaches. As you reach midnight, the veil disappears completely. So that's when your most um, enemies come out. And then as the sun rises, that veil becomes is more solidified. That's not saying that monsters don't appear in the daytime. In fact, there's going to be monsters who have the capability of hosting themselves onto creatures. And those creatures will be able to survive through the sun. So you'll have things like mutated deer or mutated like jaguars or lions that have these creatures that have hosted themselves onto themselves. Um, it's going to be kind of Lovecraftian type things. Deer with hand monsters. Yeah, sort of. I was thinking more of yeah, kind of. I was definitely thinking of it more like a um Princess Mononoke type situation where the monster is like controlling the animal. Wiggle those fingers. Yep. Um so so that's kind of where the world is right now. I am going to call the world Midnight, so that's where the name Midnight comes from. On top of having midnight be the hour that is highest peak, um, there is going to be an ancient race that affected the veil, and that's the reason why the veil is the way it is. Nobody really knows that though. This race has long since ceased. There's going to be ruins of them that you can go and explore. Um, It's gonna be very, like, one continent. You're gonna have, like, the northern mountains, the southern desert areas, there's gonna be a jungle, there's gonna be, like, a foresty area. Um, Kinda started playing with a map, and then I was like, "Oh, I'm going way too far, too fast, slow down, think about it again." I haven't even really figured out the species, so I should figure out the species. I know that I want human, elf, and dwarf in there. I think I'm going to do another 3 races that are out of the ordinary for fantasy. So right now I'm thinking of a stone race, like a race made out of stone, and a jaguar race, um, and then a lizard race. But I haven't solidified them. This is literally, like I said, about a week ago. So this has been slowly taking effect and coming together. Um, so mages. I think what I want from these face cards is I want the face cards to like enhance what's already there. So I don't want them. Hey Rex, how you doing? Um, I don't want like the face cards to be like all uh, like their own little power to start. They'll get there when you level, but I think what I want initially for these classes is to have specialties that enhance the current. So right now we have +1 to card value divided by 2. I think what we're going to do here for most of the hearts, it's card value divided by 2. Hey Steven, how you doing? Welcome back. Um so uh let's get into it. So what I'm thinking is like maybe the heart initially will see. The problem is not all my hearts heal because I have the elemental wall, and the elemental wall absorbs one hit. So, but I kind of want it to be able to enhance it. So if you use like a queen and then you use a 3 of clubs, it will enhance the queen will enhance the AC bonus. I'm trying to think how I can do that easily without just replacing the mana shield. I guess I could just do an additional effect, like, hey, here's an additional effect, like this one here, the one that Steve came up with last time, increase your AC by X of however much health you are missing. But I think we were doing that for warrior, so that might be better for warrior. But I could do something like that where it's like an additional effect instead of just being affecting the effects that's happening, adding an additional effect. Um, Maybe we'll do something like that. So, all right. So first things first, let's go ahead and get ourselves organized here. This is going to be face cards. Um, and then we'll have one for aces because the aces are going to be different. So that's how we're going to do this. So we're going to have hearts, face cards, hearts, aces. Um, and same for the other ones. That's my thought process right now. Um, Temporary hit points, that might be a solution. That might be a way of doing it. So on this one, uh a temp I would have considered joining you tonight if in here if I was feeling better. That's fine, Eskellum. I appreciate the thought process. Being here on chat is enough because I'm sure you'll come up with some ideas. Um Temporary hit points. Yeah, I think that's how we're gonna probably play this one for the face cards. Is that you get uh, so the face cards you get X. How much should it be card value? No, because the card value is like 10. or well, if you do, it's 11 if you do a jack, 10 if you do 12 if you do a queen, and 13 if you do king. Yes. Each each suit has their own distinct element. They do. And those elements are one hearts are recovery type situations, clubs are combat enhancers, diamonds are defense attributes enhancers, and then spades are damage based. Um let's do you get a D10. Let's D10 worth of temporary hit points. We'll start with that. Aces high. Aces are high. Aces are um 14 in here. So they are high. So and it and initiative is highest to lowest, then going so if you have people who draw two twos, they are different in my system. So um So jacks are 11, queens are 12s, kings are 13s, and aces are 14s. For initiative, that might be a good idea. I kind of have the jokers being that way though. Um, yeah, the way I have it is the jokers for initiative because I wrote some stuff up here. Um, during combat, if jacks are 11, queens are 12s, kings are 13s, and aces equals 14. And if two players play the same card during initiative, players get to choose. So if you all choose two and or threes, and I had a two as a DM, you guys would get to choose who goes first. Um, if you all chose the two of hearts, but if you chose the two of hearts and I chose the two, and somebody else chose the two of clubs, the hearts would go first, the clubs would go first. Um, and then I am going to have jokers being special in general. They'll be able to go at first every time. So if you use a joker to go first every time, but jokers also all classes are going to have a joker ability. So you probably won't want to use that for initiative. But you might want to go first. Um so that's what that is. Yeah, let's do 10 1d10 worth of let's do 1d10 plus 4. Because I won't that would be 14 verse verse 4 through 14 that you get for temporary hit points. That would work. Um for face cards. Um aces, let's go ahead and make aces you get 2d10 of temp hit points, and um no, let's do it this way. How no, I don't want to do hit points for the aces. We'll go to aces. We'll get to aces in a few minutes. All right. Face cards, clubs. Clubs are combat enhancers. So I think what this should be is something like um right now you clubs basically give you elemental damage, mana shield, or your next attack on you get a counterattack. So why don't we do something like you can teleport uh 30 feet in any direction. That's a simple thing. You get not only do you get all of the abilities, one of the abilities that I said, but you also get the teleportation capability. Um Diamonds. Diamonds are defense. Right now, most of it you absorb a hit, you can do a counterpoint, or you decrease the enemy's AC by card value. Um, no, currently no. Um, that might change. Currently, no. I initially started that way, Eskilum. I started with the card value actually adding to the roll, but then we quickly went into this combo maneuver where you spend 2 cards and you get this ability. Um, I might put it back in that if you only spend 1 card, you um get that bonus. So you could be like, I spend my 10 to get plus 10 on the attack, but you only used 1 card. Um, I'm not sure yet. I will have to see how it plays, to be honest. Um, I'm just not quite sure how this is all going to play out one piece at a time. At combat start, they get 5. At On every round, they just draw 1. And then I'm going to have something happen during a reshuffle, or you empty your hand. A lot of the classes have the ability to draw extra cards. So that's gonna be a thing. No, no, I totally understand. That makes total sense. Um, and keep doing it because there might be something you think of that I didn't think of yet. Um, but right now, the way it plays out is you draw 5 cards and you draw 1 every time. It might be a situation where I have you draw up to 4 cards um every round or draw up to 5 cards every round. I'm not sure. This is still very new system, so I haven't like worked out all the details as of yet. Um I gotta play test it because honestly, this might play test like crap, and I might have to just throw everything out and redo it. Um, I don't think it will. I think it's working from what I can see. Um, I might have to adjust a few things, like how many cards you get, adjust how often you get cards. Um, yeah, things like that. All right, so face cards for diamonds. Um, Yes, I agree with you. All games play test like crap the first few times, but the only way a game improves is if you're willing to toss out everything and restart. Not necessarily how you do it, but you got to be willing to do it. Um, is my point. If you're not willing to toss out something, you shouldn't be making that game because if your heart gets set on something and you try and you're like, I gotta get this to work. You'll just focus on that and then you won't be able to get past it. So you always have to be willing to throw any mechanic out and restart. Um, all right, face cards, diamonds. Let's go ahead and do this. Um, you can create a shield around an ally uh, for which uh, gives the ally uh, card value CV divided by 2 um, of AC for the next round till your next turn. All right, so you can create a shield around an ally, which gives the allies um, an AC bonus of card value divided by 2. So that means that minimum you're going to be getting, if it's an 11, you're going to be getting 5, and if it's 13, you're going to get 6. So that's fine, 5 or 6. Um, because that's off a face card. All right, face card on diamond on spades. Right now, spades decrease the enemy's AC, add elemental bonus, or does a life drain. So we don't want to duplicate those effects. Let's say I don't want to. Let's say that the spade on a wizard allows you to double cast. Uh, Allows you to target another creature with your spell, and does +5 extra damage. And like I said, none of this is tested. I haven't even created enemies yet. This could be all garbage, but you won't know until you test it. What, did I lose you all? You're all here. All right. Aces are going to do something special. Distance and spaces the effect would work in, all in 1-inch squares. Um, that would be good for a wizard, or well, a mage. I'm calling them mages. I got to remember that. But for a fighter who's using a sword, now I do have on here. I do have things on here like card value. So card value does play into a part as far as like effects on some things. Like with the warrior, if they have a spade and a diamond, they gain +3 to the attack and discard 1 card to get its card value on AC. So they could have a low spade and a 2 of diamonds and a 3 of spades, and then discard a 10 of clubs and get 10 to their AC. So, but that means you're also sacrificing 3 cards for that maneuver. So, but you can also draw 3 additional cards from a clubs and a heart. So you'll have more cards than, say, a mage, is the thought process. Um, okay. So there's that one. All right. Oh, I guess I'm tired. Beep. We're gonna do this. We're gonna change this. We're gonna change this. We're gonna change this. We're gonna change this. I might as well do this for all of them now. Okay. Um, Increase your AC by X of however much health you're missing. I kind of like that for the face guard. So we'll just copy that, put it right here. There we go. Increase your AC by X of however much you are missing. There's your face guard. For your heart. That was easy. Knock back 10 feet. I'm going to put increase any knockback effects by CV feet. So that will mean that a 13 will a 13 you'll so 10 feet, 10 feet. So that would be 23 feet. That works. Um, that works. Uh, diamonds right now. Move ally, discard, draw 2 cards, choose one to keep, the other add to your AC for the next round. Gain +3 to attack, discard 1 card and get its CV on AC. Let's do, what do you guys think? I don't know what to do for diamonds. And mind you, this is only the starting ability. Eventually, they'll be able to swap out specific cards. So, like, they'll be able to say Queen of Hearts does this. Diamond of Jack of Diamonds does this. So they'll be able to like swap out abilities. Ow. So I had red peppers on my chicken this evening, and I just rubbed my eye with red pepper oil. That's great. What are the player stats? So the player stats are blup, 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 blup. Might, agility, wit, and social. You're going to be able to put 2, 1, 1, and 0 in those. So you're going to choose, and then you'll have a skills, and these skills will allow you to, and you'll have 10 points to put into those skills. Those skills are things such they're very similar to the Dragonbane skills. So, in fact, you'll probably see some similar naming conventions as the Dragonbane right now. That doesn't mean they'll stay those naming conventions, but I am using the Dragonbane skills. So that's what it is. Um, those are the player stats. So it's going to be D10 plus those skills and those stats. Um, we could do something like your uh for yeah. Um, what I'm wondering is if I should do something like yeah, I'm thinking something like this. Shield an ally within 10 feet. That ally gains card value to their AC for the next round. Uh, well, when I'm saying next round, but until the warrior's next turn. Yes, that's the thought process. That was my thought process. As it becomes a support card. But you have to remain in 10 feet. If they move out of the way, they no longer get that. So I'll have to write it specifically. Um, and then if warriors can tank, that's the thought process. Warriors are going to be your tankers. You know, they take half the damage is added back to your health. Draw 2 cards, choose one to keep, the other adds to your AC. Move an ally 10 feet to prevent attack of opportunity. I mean, a lot of these are just generic thought processes, not actual, like, here are the words that are going to be stating. Knock back an enemy 10 feet and gain advantage on your next attack. Gain +3 to an attack and discard 1 card to get its CV up on AC. So the thought process is warriors are the tanks. That's the thought. Um, so damage based. Allies within 10 feet of you gain advantage on attacks. Gain advantage on attacks. So they have to be within 10 feet of you, but they gain advantage on attacks. Sounds good. That works. All right. Rogues, on the other hand, are very much damage dealers, are very much critical strike, +3 to attack, you know, that type of thing. Advantage is 2d10, take the highest. Simple as that. Just like it would be in D&D. Except that I'm using a D10 system instead of a D20. Yep, exactly. All right, face cards for the rogue. Sneak. This is health. Let's go ahead and give them more cards because they need more cards. Draw 2 cards from your deck immediately. Use them for no. I don't like that. I changed my mind. Yeah. I mean, sneak attack damage, discard up to 3 cards, and the CV is extra damage. So whatever your card value is that you discard. So if you discard 3 cards, those 3 cards add them up, and that's your CV. That's your extra damage. You can draw additional cards from your deck. You can draw 2 additional cards from the DM's deck, not even your deck, the Dungeon Master's deck. Actually, I'm calling them Game Master. I should change that. CV adds to your AC until next turn. Card value strike +3 to attack. So it's very much. So another question. This all seems centered around combat. Is this a crawling tactical type game, or will there be other things to use for roleplay? Ooh, Card Master. I like that. Right now, I'm focused on combat. That being said, I do want to have non-combat type situations. I just don't know what I'm going to do to handle that yet, if that makes sense. Exactly. To be determined. Because I want to focus on the combat, get the combat working, and then I will figure out what I'm doing in combat, which might dictate what I do outside combat. Um, it might not. I don't know. No, there is nothing wrong with having two modes in TTRPGs. Two modes work fine. I'd like to keep the same basic mechanic of a D10 plus skill. Um, but I'm not sure. Um, I'm gonna focus on combat first, get combat down, at least get combat to a point where I think we can add more to it. Um, and then go from there. This is definitely going to not be a rules light system. It's going to be a little bit more complicated than some of my other games. Um, it's just the nature of what I'm doing. It's going to be more complicated. Rogue evades attack, then they draw a card. Let's do that for defense. Rogue evades an attack, they draw a card. For the next round. Um, Hearts. Damage. Sneak attack. Oh, this is hard. What do you mean rule cards? I'm confused. I mean cards that so what I'm thinking right now is that because face cards are going to be able to get like updated abilities, I think I'm going to create like a sleeve system where you can slide in, you could put your cards in a sleeve, and then you can slide in the ability on the cards. That's cool. Yeah, I gotta look into what it takes to make cards. I don't even know. That would be a new one for me. But that is a good thought process. I don't think the rules are going to be that light where I'm going to be able to do that, unfortunately. Yeah, drive through has cards, and that's what I'm talking about. I probably go through through to make the cards. Um, and like I said, I think I want to make like, yeah, I could definitely do like helper things for each class, and I was planning on doing that. In fact, I'm actually debating about making character sheets specific to class, so you have to download the right character sheet for the class that you're playing. Um, because I'm not opposed to making every class work differently either. But yeah, I'm right now my thought process is that we go ahead and make character classes different. Character class sheets different so that way people don't have to keep writing down all the different things. Right. That would alleviate the need for individual helpers. Yes. That's my thought process. Um, I mean, right now I'm kind of doing like a universal sheet, but the thought process is these would be automatically filled in with the stuff from here, you know, already filled in with this information. So you would already have it. And then your face card, your inventory slots are going to be, so you're going to have inventory that you can store and keep. So if you decide that you have a you have a jack left and you like the effect that it has, you'll be able to pull that down and store it in your inventory. And then you'll be able to use that at any time. Yes, exactly, you skill 'em. That's the thought process right now. Is that each class would have its own specific sheet that had level improvements. It would have like here's um here's what your aces do for you, here's what face cards do for you. It's making a character sheet for this is going to be difficult. I almost want to make a playmat instead because I think a playmat would be more accurate to what I'm trying to do. If that makes sense. Um I definitely am going to create um I'm going to try to make playing cards that um so I saw an interesting thing at PAX Unplugged that got me interested in this thought process. Um they had transparent cards that you would have a sleeve. You would have your normal card inside. You have a sleeve that in a sleeve. And then you would slide this transparent card inside and it would have an updated stat block for that card because that card you could stack you could stack them. So my thought process is right now is that I would have all your face cards can change their loadout. So I'm thinking of getting transparent cards that you can apply to your you so all your cards would be in a sleeve and then you would put this, yeah, almost like evolving Pokemon cards. Yes. But I also want it to be able to be played with regular playing cards. So I don't want specific, let me think about that. I haven't decided that I want specific cards for each class yet because that would be a big cost to people. So I want it to be able to be played via regular playing cards. Um, but I'd like to have something kind of neat like the transparent things. And it's not saying that you would have to do it with transparent cards. I could make paper versions that you could tape to the cards while you play and adjust them that way. Yes. So cards combos do stuff. Welcome in, DM Tales. I've changed it a little bit since the last time we talked. One suit of cards and a full deck. I kind of like that every character has their own suit of 52 cards. Um that might be interesting. I think there's a cost to that you have to take into account for the DM because it's probably going to be the DM that has all the playing cards. Let's be honest. I think I'm going to leave it at 52 for the initial thought process and then go from there. Um, Cards are getting kind of pricey. Yes. Um, but that's my thought process right now is that um every class would have its own deck of 52 cards. That deck would be modified. No, standard decks. I'm thinking standard decks. So you're thinking that you just give them suit? No, I'm thinking each person has their own 52 cards. A standard deck for each player. Yeah. So everybody has their own deck of cards, is what I'm thinking. Yeah. I mean, who doesn't have a deck of cards at home? So literally, no, it's not one deck for the entire it's a deck per class. Because you'd have to, because of the way how I'm setting it up with drawing. You'd have to have 52 cards to make it work. And the GM. Yes. In fact, the GM actually gets to draw 3 plus the number of players he's playing, heroes he's fighting against. So instead of drawing 5, so say you're playing with 3 people, he would draw 6 cards. If you're playing with 4 people, he draws 7 cards. Yeah, exactly. So, and like I said, I'm thinking about having like extra things that you can buy, such as um the clear plastic ability things that you could get for each class. See, I kind of wish now that I had like thought of this, I didn't think of this before Hacks Unplugged, Wes, or I wish I had gone to Godzilla so I could have seen it played. But then again, maybe I don't. Maybe I want to do something different, not get influenced by it. All right. So let's see here. So evade the next attack and draw a card. Um uh hearts. Let's see. Um all right. Go get better. You're not feeling well. Go get better. Um but yeah, so that's what I'm thinking, Wes, is that it's going to be like this cool little everybody has their own deck type deal. I don't know how Godzilla did it. Does everybody have their own deck in Godzilla, or is it one deck and you guys just draw from the same deck? Like, I didn't read the rules of Godzilla at all. Godzilla's one deck. Everybody draws from that one deck. See, that to me makes sense. Um, I think I want it to be separate, so everybody has their own deck. I think it would make it more interesting. Um, all right, I got to finish this up. I have one, two, three, four. I got six more things to do. All right, let's see. Face cards for hearts. Um, gain, uh, gain two cards and uh gain 10 hit points, 10 HP for their card value. That works. Uh, all right. Clubs. What do they do for clubs? It's usually adding to your AC, critical strikes, draw additional cards. Let's do this. Let's say that you can move 30 feet in any direction without tax of opportunity. Um, all right. And then draw 3 cards and gain um, card value divided by 2 on, you know what? No, let's just do card value for damage. That works. All right, so there's the rogue done. Shaman. Let's do the shaman. Uh, we're going to say discard 2 cards and gain 3 cards. See if that helps. I don't know if that's going to work. We'll find out. I got to test this. This is all hypothetical right now. Clubs. Duh, 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 duh. Oh, clubs. Stop sleeping, Dave. +1 attack for you and an ally. Share the love. Discard 2 extra cards. You and an ally gain CV to card value to AC. Um, let's or choose up to 2 cards to share to an ally. Uh, shared cards. No. Gotta think. Think. I want them assisting. I want them supporting. Um, let's uh spend get card value. Uh, double card value times 2 of healing that you can spread to any party member. That will work. So that's probably more. Let's do it this way. That looks more like it. Face card for diamond. That's going to be AC or protection. Let's do this. Uh, drop a totem that lasts 3 rounds, which gives card value uh to AC for anyone in 15 feet. That works. And then damage wise, um, drop. No, I don't want to do totem again. Call forth swirling spirits, which cause card value of damage to anyone who attacks you. All right, there we go. So all the face cards are done. Aces are the last thing that I got to do. I don't know if I'm going to do them tonight, though, because I'm not feeling well either. I think I'm starting to get sick. I don't like it. But face cards are done. Let me save this. Export image. Export as a CVG. Well, 5/2025. All right. And then export, save to hard drive. 12/5/2025. I'm going to bed. All right. So there's that. I just got to get this out, Wes. It's in my head and it's driving me crazy. Like I'm having trouble sleeping. Like I'm constantly thinking about this right now. Until I can playtest it, I'm going to constantly be thinking about it. And I don't even have a clue how I'm going to playtest this online. No idea. Because Foundry's cards suck. I have no idea how I'm going to playtest this. Yeah, but how? Like I said, Foundry's cards really suck. I guess we just have a deck of cards and I just trust people with what they say. I suppose I could just do that, trust people. But I gotta get to the point where I can even test it, which means that I gotta finish aces. That will give me at least a starting point, a level 1 character. And then I gotta create monsters in the monster abilities. So we'll get there. All right. Good night, everyone. I'm gonna call it quits. I'm tired. If you can't just trust the playtesters, you know, you never know with players. But yes, most of the time you can trust your playtesters. Because it's important. Because if they lie to you, it's not going to help the game. So, but anyways, good night, all. Have a nice night. Wes, I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure. Bye, all.